Hello friends. So today we are going to learn about how to set up the four servers, which are generally the DHCP, DNS, and web server and the FTP server while using a Cisco Packet Tracer app. So I will be building the whole server setup from scratch, and we will try it using four devices, which are generally the laptops and the PCs, and see how this communicate with the server and fetch the data. So let's build from scratch. So first we'll be requiring a router, which will generally bring from here, from the router section. So I'm fetching it and placing it here. So next I have placed a router. The router generally acts as a gateway, but to connect devices in a department or inside a system, we will be generally requiring a switch. It's a very smart device which handles this all operations very rightfully. So next we will be adding some devices into our system. So we can add, yes, we can have two laptops here and two PCs here. Yeah, they're placed very correct. Now comes to our server section. For placing the server, okay, for placing the server, we'll be placing four servers as which was our motto from this first. So I'm placing one, two, three, and four. Okay, let's go. So we'll be naming these servers as this is our DHCP server. This is our DNS server, and this is our web server. Let me correct the spelling. It's right. And this is our FTP server. Yes, all are set. Now let's provide the connection to uh, each of the devices uh, plays in plays in a setup. During the connection, we simply need to add this line connection because this third number line connection gives you manual option to connect from which port to which port of a device. Like I'm connecting this from fast Ethernet 0 of this laptop to the switch, and I'm using fast Ethernet 0/1 of the switch to connect. It gives a very independent option for us to connect among devices, which port we'll be using. I'll be connecting the next in the same way, then connecting the PC with the switch. Okay, we have to also take care of while connecting that the we have to remember which all slots or the which all like which all this FA we have used this fast Ethernet 0 to fast Ethernet 0/1. We have to take care of it because on later stage we'll be using it. Let's make the connection, next connection. This is our final connection. Let's make the server connection too. Here we have given all independent connections, and our connections are also becoming green, which seems that it is both two-sided and there is no fault between the connection. If fault would have happened, then the connection would be gone red. This side all became green, and hoping for this side, and this will also become true. Yeah, they have started becoming. Okay, now we have to give a final connection to our router from the switch. I'll be using gigabit Ethernet 0/0 for it. So after giving the connections, we generally have what our task will be configuring all the servers. Therefore, they will interact with therefore they will interact with the systems present in the department. So first, we should provide it a name. Yeah, by naming it, it will be easy. Uh, Naming in the sense I will be assigning a IP to my network. And the IP should be like this: 10.10.10.x0, which is the IP of the server, which is the IP of the server. Sorry, the router. This is my gateway. Now, at every gateway part or configuring the server while placing the gateways, I will be mentioning this IP. Now, let's configure servers one by one. First, configuring the DHCP server. First, we have to move to the desktop option, then the IP configuration. Here, we have to provide the IP address of the DHCP server. We can use the IP address as 10.10.10.1, which will be used which will be used as an IP address as the IP address 10.10.10.0 is already consumed for the gateway purpose of the router. And the subnet mask will be 255.255.255.0. Yeah, it's not perfect. The gate we have to mention as 10.10.10.0. In the DNS also 10.10.10.3. I have mentioned the DNS as 10.10.10.3, which I'll be showing you later because we have already set up a sorry, it is 10.10.10.2. Yeah, as on the second part of the server, we have placed a DNS server whose IP will gonna be 10.10.10.2. So I have written beforehand in the DHCP server while configuring. Okay, so we have to press enter. We have to go next to the services part. Here on services part, we have to go to the DHCP, and here on DHCP, we have to set up pool, server pool. Server pool generally shows that first we have to mention the default gateway, which is 10.10.10.0, then the DNS server 10.10.10.2, and next this start IP. Generally, the start IP represents that the system placed in our department is the total number of system which are placed in our department, which the IP, the starting IP, which should be assigned to the system, which will be asking for the IP first to the DHCP server, and from the starting IP, the how much devices will be placing or the how much number of users will be placing our department. If you set the value as 4, then the first device to as the DHCP server about the IP will be assigned with 10.10.10.0, then 10.10.10.11, then 10.10.10.12, and this goes like on till 4 devices. Okay, it's very clear. Then after setting up, we have to save this. After saving, you can see that here the pool name have popped up along with the default gateway, the DNS server, the start IP address, the subnet mask, also with the maximum of user count, and this all. So we have to select this and make the server on. Okay, you have to select this and make the service on. After this, our configuration of the DHCP server has an IP address, similarly as previously in the DHCP server, and we have to assign it a IPv4 address. And you can also assign a IPv6 address. It's totally upon you which IP address you are going to use it. For simplicity, I'll be using IPv4 for demonstration purpose. And next, we have to assign it to IP address, which I'll be assigning 10.10.10.2. 0 is our gateway, 1 is for DHCP, then 2 is for the DNS. The subnet mask which I'll be using is 255.255.255.0. The default gateway will be using as 10.10.10.0, and for DNS server, we will keep it as the initial which is 0.0.0.0, as this we are working on a DNS server only. Next, we have to present and move to the services part. Services part, we have to keep everything off instead of also the DHCP, we have to keep it off instead of DNS server, which we'll be using, we'll keep it on. And for name, we'll be writing a website name. For that, for instance, www.google.com. And the work of DNS server is very simple. It will keep the records of the websites which which the users in the department can access, and just typing this name or the domain name in the browser section of the device, the device or the systems in the department can easily be redirected to the website, uh, just simply. And next, we have to provide the address, and this whole demo I'll be showing you next in the video. We'll provide the address as 10.10. Okay, 10.4, and I have provided this address because 10.10.10.4 generally represents, okay, sorry, it is 3, generally represents a web server which will be handling or hosting all these kind of things uh, later part. So we have to add this and save. Okay, we have saved this and we will keep the service on. DNS server setup is over. Next, moving forward to the web server. Web server, we have to first we have to configure the IP address 10.10.10.3. Okay, 0, 1, 2, and 3. It's fine. The subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. Default gateway is 10.10.10.0. And DNS server is 10.10.10.2. That's fine. Moving forward, the services we have to keep. Yeah, we have to keep this service on, keeping all other services off. Next, we have to keep the HTTP service on, and we have to and to see changes. Like we have mentioned in the DNS server, we have provided a domain name as www.google.com to see whether google.com is redirected using any of the systems in the department. We can make a slight change in the index part. Coming to the index.html, I can uh, click on the edit option, and here I can increase the font sizes +3, and I can, for simplicity, for checking we have redirected to our right side or not. For simplicity, I'll be adding, okay, Google as the header part. We'll make it save. Now, this was our work of the web server. Moving forward to the FTP server configuration. FTP server configuration, our first job is obvious to provide assign an IP address 10.10.10. And our IP address will be 0 for gateway, 1 for DHCP, 3 for DNS, 4 0 1 2 3 3 4, sorry, and yeah, 4 for FTP. Yeah, hit the enter. Moving to the subnet pass, yes, yes, it will be 255.255.255.0. The default gate will be 10.10.10.0. Yeah, the router. The DNS server will be 10.10.10.3, 10.10.3, 10.2. Why I'm not knowing, I'm just writing DNS servers 10.10.10.3. Since it is 2012. Yeah, I'm right. Okay, now let's moving forward to the services section. Services, we are first we have to make all the services off. Then moving forward to the FTP part. Now in the here in the FTP part, first we have to provide a username. Okay, username I will be providing as JD network. Password will be JD at the 123. Now we have to add it. A permission. We have to click on the permissions. We provided all the permission, then we have to add it. Now, one user has been added. Now, the general the FTP server's work is to configure the router. While in the router configuration part, we will be providing which user will be given access uh, to redirecting you while using these all devices in the department. It will redirect and use any of the services present in the web server or the website present. It will provide you the access by using this username and password. So this was the only job of FTP server. Now totally the server configuration is over. Now let's moving on to the router part. Uh, the single and the only job left is the router configuration. For router configuration, we have to the command line here and here. If this option pop-ups on your screen, would you like to enter the initial configuration dialog? Simply hit no. Then press enter 2-3 times and type en. Then we have to type conf t for configuration. Then we have to provide for which terminal. As I mentioned earlier, this terminal is important. For which terminal you are going to configure the router. The terminal which is the router is connected is gigabit Ethernet 0/0. For it, I'll be configuring it. So I'll be writing here. I'll be 0/0, which I mentioned earlier port is the port number of the router connected. Configuring it. Without know as such. Keep these commands in your mind. These are generally used when configuring this type of router placed in the department. Press the enter 2-3 times. Then we have to write IP address 10.10.10.0, which is our gateway, and also with the subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Then hit enter using the command as next we'll be using the command as IP FTP username as 3D network and also IP FTP password as 3D@123. These are all. Now we can see that our router is already assigned and our all connections have become green. Now the next job is to look after the DHCP allocated IP address of system placed in our department. First moving to the first laptop, you can see here coming to the desktop part in the IP configuration. When I click the DHCP IP, it has send a request to the DHCP server, and the request is successful and it has been provided assigned with the IP address. The starting IP address, which I mentioned earlier, is 10.10.10.0, have been allocated to the system. Then we have to configure all the other settings of this laptop so that we can be using the FTP server. For this, we have to move to the command prompt and write this command ipconfig/all and press hit enter. Hitting enter 2-3 times, it will configure everything. And like this, we have to do in every system in our department. You can see here another IP address is also assigned as 10.10.10.11. And yes, we have to also do the configuration part. ipconfig/all. You have to hit the enter 2-3 times. It will make the total configuration done. Yes. doing it in the next system too. And yes, we have been assigned. We had given the DHCP server to assign a total of four systems, and you can see here that four system has been assigned their individual IP addresses 10.10.10.10, LAN 12 and 13. That is the last one assigned. And with this, we have configured all the IPs. And for instance, if you want to see that this system placed in a department is pinging to the website www.google.com, which we had mentioned in the record of DNS server and posted in the web server. Is it pinging to this website or not? You can simply write that ping www.google.com and hit enter. You can see here reply from this is the process it is taking, and you can see the statistics that ping statistics for 10.10.10.3, which is this system, packet sent 4, receive 4, loss 0, which means that our FTP server is also working at 100%. So let's see. Yeah, taking this system only, we'll be running a web browser or the www dot here in the web browser part, and we'll simply write www.google.com. You can see that Google is being written here in the large, which I had edited in the index.html part of the web server here. I edited. I had written Google, and flashing, this is flashing here. So yes, our web server is also working at 100%, and with this, we have come to an end of establishing four servers in a department of four systems, and how to you access a remote website from each of the systems. So with this, I have come to an end. Thank you.